Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Mazzy and Brandy, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Mazzy's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Brandy is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and she keeps the bulk of the leash folded in her right hand. That leaves her left hand free to give any correction that's needed. And the only correction that we give here at school is a tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Mazzy's going to come home with her very own training collar, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session tomorrow. Now she's sitting very nicely at Brandy's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Mazzy heel. Now at this point, Mazzy has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with Brandy when walking. Not forging ahead or lagging behind, but keeping her shoulders even with Brandy's left leg, so that when you're walking her in the city, she is right with you, not dragging you down the street, not lunging out at other dogs. And when you stop to cross traffic or talk to someone on the street, that she's sitting nicely at your left to wait for her next command. And this is very important when you're working with a pit bull in the city. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command. And because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word firm command to stay. Your long sit-stay you should practice indoors as well as outdoors. Start out at 30 seconds and work slowly up to 3 minutes. When Brandy returns back to her, she walks all the way around her, and Mazzy should remain seated until she gets her next command, and Brandy told her to heel, and they take off walking again. And if you keep your eye on Brandy's left arm, you will notice that if Mazzy is starting to daze off or look at a bird or a squirrel, she's going to give her that little tug and tell her no, heel. And that brings her back to focus. She's going to leave her in another sit-stay. And you practice this right in your living room. This is a good way to spend quality time with your dog. This time, instead of returning back to her, Brandy's going to call her, and it's Mazzy, come. And Mazzy is to come and sit, not come and jump all over you. And then Mazzy returns back to heel and back sitting. What a good girl. And she's doing a great job. Nice heeling skills. Walking with you, that's very important. Sitting when you stop. If she doesn't sit, she gets a little correction. That's her being a stubborn pit bull, and we're not having that. Brandy leaves her in another sit-stay, and she's again going to demonstrate the come on command. Right in and sits very nicely, so that eliminates the jumping. Back to heel and back sitting. Very good. Now the next commands that we're going to demonstrate for you are the reason why Mazzy stayed longer, and those are the down commands. And they're very difficult to train with a pit bull to do these down commands, especially a mature dog. So always have her seated first. This is going to be your down from a heel position. You're going to use your left open palm straight down toward the ground, and the one-word command to down and stay. Now your long down stay, again, practice right in your living room. You don't have to go outside. You're going to work all the way up to a 5-minute long down stay. It teaches focus and self-control. When Brandy returns back to her, she will walk around her just as she did on the sit-stay, and Mazzy should remain lying there until she gets her next command. Brandy's going to heel her out of that, and she'll show it to you again. Nice automatic sit. There you go. Brandy's our trainer that teaches down to difficult dogs. So Mazzy and Brandy have worked well together, and Brandy will be working with you tomorrow, and this time Brandy will call her out of that down. And Brandy's talking to her very softly to keep her focused, to keep her looking up at her, and that's what you want. You want that eye contact. And the very last command that we're going to demonstrate for you will be your down from a distance. And this is probably the hardest command because the dog is not right next to you. So Brandy's going to have her sit. She's going to leave her in a stay. She's going to turn to face her. She's going to use her right hand to give the command. And Mazzy's a bit of a crawler. She likes to try to crawl into you. So have her go down and then tell her stay and back up. And that will continue to improve with practice. Now we have demonstrated for you all of Mazzy's formal on-leash obedience commands. She is a really, really nice girl. She's very sweet. She is a pit bull and she can be stubborn and hard-headed. But once she gets it, she gets it, and Brandy's giving her a treat for a good job. We've enjoyed having her, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.